How's it going? This is Morris from Equilibrium USG, and you're watching us on Dice Squad.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Dice Squad. I am Marshall Dice, also as Adam Campbell.
General Dice, Todd Evangelista.
And this is Dice Squad, the only show where we call to adventure.
Actually, there's a lot of shows that call to adventure.
That may be true, General Dice, but
We're just following in their wake.
we are following in their footsteps with today's game, Call to Adventure.
Right.
We unboxed this game. This was actually a wonderful gift from our good friends from Chris and Danny O'Neill of Brotherwise Games.
Who designed the game, too.
And they are most famous known for their game, Boss Monster.
Boss Monster, yes. So we're going to teach you how to play the game and go through a game of our own, and we'll tell you what we think at the end.
All right. Well, how do we play Call to Adventure there, General?
All right. First of all, we've already done a couple of things. We've set up the board. As you can see, there are 3 acts to the game. 1, 2, 3. And we've set up the board and flipped over Act 1. For a 2-player game, you are to put out 4 cards. In a 4-player game, you'd put out 5. Now, the Marshall and I have 3 cards: the origin, the motivation, and the destiny card.
Now, General, I noticed there that on the back of these cards, which is very kind of cool, is they represent a tree. And as a tree progresses through its life cycle, getting taller and the roots getting longer.
That's what you're going to be doing in the game. Your hero is going to be progressing through his life, and at the end, you're going to have the destiny of the hero, and going to have a little thing where it says, these are your bonus points. So I have chosen to be a noble, and we have chosen my motivation is as a lone wanderer, and my destiny is hidden. We don't reveal that.
You don't share that.
No, that is shared at the end of the game, and we have found that no matter how you try, you try and get the stuff on your destiny card, but it doesn't always happen. And you don't get many. One person has 32 victory points from that card, and you have, that's right, 0. So we have here, what you're doing is you're going to be telling a story. Now, my noble power gives me icons, as does the Marshalls. Why don't you tell us what you are, Marshall Dice?
Well, I am an acolyte who is bound by honor.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
It does.
Now, you have, what are your 2 icons? He has, sometimes we give these nicknames. So he has wisdom. But if you look at the icon, it looks like an eye. So sometimes we'll just say, I need 2 eyes, no 3 eyes. But it's wisdom. The M for magnificence, or sometimes called a crown, is charisma. And the V for vigor is constitution. Some people call it a shield. The wand is intelligence. And the sword is strength. And it kind of looks like a bow, so that is dexterity. It could also be a D.
Now, General, it looks to me like, where are the dice in this game?
These are the dice. You don't roll dice, you cast runes in this game.
Interesting.
And we'll go over some of the, you need to really know the probabilities in this game, otherwise you're going to be a bit lost. But we'll always cast these core runes. Now the core rune, one of them, has a little diamond on it, broken up into 2 triangles.
What does that mean?
1 black and 1 white. When that comes up, you get 0 points, but you are allowed to pick a hero card or anti-hero card. I was going to say villain, but it's not really villain. It's almost like Star Wars. The light side, the dark side.
2 sides to the coin.
Yes, and you may go on the dark side path, or you may go on the light path.
But never in the middle.
Well, yes. In the middle is what you start out as. Because you start out, you put your this has a sun and a moon, and the moon is corruption, and the sun is virtue. So if you get sun points, then you're going to go up the track. Because right now you can play dark cards or light cards, hero or anti-hero, but as soon as you go up one on the track, so you can see there's 7 levels, right? You're at level 3. If you go up to level 4, you are considered to have 1 sun, and at the end of the game, instead of getting 2 victory points for your triumph points, you're going to get 4 triumph points. But now you can only use hero cards and not anti-hero cards.
And I see as if you go down the dark side.
Right. If you go up the top, though, that's what you want, because that's 8 points, 8 triumph points at the end, and you're considered to have 2 suns or 2 virtues.
But if you go all the way down to the dark side and you're the most evilest character ever,
well, yes.
then you get -4.
You get -4 triumph points. So a lot of times you want to just stay on the dark side. But you go up 2, then you go up 4. If you go down 1 more, you have crossed a line. You now have 3 corruption or 3 moons, and you are considered a villain. If you go to 4 moons, you are not, as soon as you go to level 5, you are only allowed to play anti-hero cards. If you go all the way down to level 7, you may not play dark runes because you are a total villain.
Chilling with the villains.
Yes. Sometimes, though, your destiny card may say, if you are all the way down, you get blah, blah, blah points for this. So who knows? We don't know the cards. We haven't memorized them.
That's right.
And so we start at level 3. We can play hero or anti-hero cards. Sometimes you may want to use the hero cards don't have this, but the anti-hero cards have change a person's status. Maybe make them go down, give them some corruption.
Now,
the hero cards have give them a sun, give them virtue.
What are these?
Oh, those. Good question. These are experience points. They are worth 1 point each at the end of the game. However, in the game, you're going to be able to spend them to do things. So, for instance, on your turn, you're going to want to take one of the cards in the act that you're on. Now, if you have a attribute card, all you have to do is meet the requirements for that attribute card to gain it. But you may want to do a challenge instead.
Ooh, what is a challenge, General?
Well, you can do either or. You can take an attribute or you can attempt a challenge, because that is the heart of the game. So,
I take it you're going to go first there, General?
I could possibly do this one, so I'm going to do it rather than Journey. Oh, we should do who goes first in this game?
Well, I was just about to ask you that there, General.
It's the person who most recently finished a novel.
Well, let's go ahead and start this game off there, General.
All right. So you go first because you finished a novel.
I did. I finished
just
this morning.
yesterday.
I did.
All right.
It was quite the page turner.
So let's look at what you have. You have charisma and you have wisdom.
Well, I am going to go for the restless spirit.
Okay. Because you could journey if you wanted to and get rid of one of these cards.
Nah, I'm going to go with, because actually this one's actually good because it kind of lines up with me being an acolyte. I can use.
But before, you want to check something first. Now, my card said I have to play before a challenge. Not every card tells you when it's to be played. If it doesn't, sometimes it says after a challenge, sometimes it says before a challenge. If it doesn't say, it can be played at any time, even on my turn. And so, and it can even interrupt something I might be doing to you. So if I say I'm going to kill one of your allies, you might throw a little card in that prevents me from doing that. And the way you figure it out is first in, last out. So I started the action, you interrupted the action, so yours would be first. And then if you did something that my card didn't activate, my card would be discarded, not put in my tableau. All right.
All right, so I'll grab my 3 basic runes that I'm going to cast.
Okay, so let's do a little bit about this. So banish a spirit. Which way are you going? You have to decide.
I'm gonna gain a spirit guardian.
You're going to gain a spirit guardian, which makes this 3 challenge a 4 challenge because it has +1 down there.
Yes.
And you'll gain a divinity story icon, and you'll gain another charisma if you are successful. What happens if you're unsuccessful, Marshall Dice?
Well, if you're unsuccessful, however, because I'm an acolyte,
Well, first of all, you would gain 1 experience
I
point.
would.
But you have some bonuses.
I do, because being an acolyte, I could once per turn, when I fail a charisma challenge or a
wisdom challenge.
wisdom challenge, I could pay 2 experience points and try it all over again.
Right. But what does that say?
And I'm also bound by honor when you overcome a challenge by 1 or less, gain an experience point.
All right.
That is quite the combo.
Yes.
So I have my 3 basic ruins. I gain my 2 because I'm an acolyte.
Okay, so.
And I'm going to cast them.
All right.
All right,
Go for
you
it.
ready?
We're going to look for a 4.
All right. I cast.
All right. So he's got 2, 4, 5. He does it
Yes.
by 1, so he gains an experience point.
Hoorah.
Hold on. He also rolled the diamond.
Yes.
So which would you like, a hero or anti-hero?
I'll take a hero card.
Okay, he takes a hero card, and he wants to look at it because his turn is not over. So he could actually play that right now. However, he gained a Spirit Guardian, so that's on the bottom. So he's going to take it and place it underneath his card with the bottom showing. All right, so are you going to play any hero cards?
Not this turn.
Immediately having taken that card, this refills the spot, and it is Secret Royalty. All right. So go ahead, you start, tell your story.
Well, I am an acolyte who gained a spirit guardian, found a lost child, calmed my attacker. I was bound by honor, led an attack, outwit a gang boss, pay a bribe. By the hand of fate, I called for mercy, destroyed the assassins, and beat the warlord. And I found true love.
Well, that's good for you. All right. Now, I had a lot of help along the way. I started out as a noble, and that charisma I had drew people to me. I had a secret informant within the Thieves Guild who helped me lead a boarding party in my naval battle. I had a master at arms who helped me soothe the savage beasts and taught me how to fight with my sword. And he also was attached to the noble house. I had a mentor who taught me the skills of magic. And not only was I a noble, I was secretly royalty. So what I did was, because I was a wanderer, I dressed as a commoner, and I went out to the common people and mingled with the common people and was secretly royalty. That's how I got involved with Thieves Guild and was trained as a killer. But when the time came that there was a fire, a raging inferno, I helped the wounded and healed them, which was important for me to become one with nature. I also was always very honorable, but my arcane training helped me become an archmage and helped me defeat a fire elemental.
That is some story.
That is some story.
Well, that is Call to Adventure. General,
Right. Yes.
your thoughts on this game?
Well, first of all, this is the idea. Think of who your character kind of was in terms of maybe other stories. So I kind of was Prince Hal from Henry IV, Part 1 and 2. I was a noble, but I secretly went out and trained and was with the people and mingling and wandering. So, how about yourself? Who were you?
Well, I was an acolyte.
So but like, for instance, So I guess there's not that many heroes, religious heroes, but maybe you were like a saint of some sort.
Maybe.
Because you ended up pretty good, whereas I ended up pretty neutral.
Yeah.
And so now you think about the game, and that gives you an idea of what your character was like, and it goes beyond just the points, who won and who lost. All right, so now what do you think?
What do I think? Well, coming from, and the cool part about Brotherwise Games is that they have gone in many different directions of their games. They don't. The nice part about they don't just stick to one genre.
Right.
If they want to do a video game style puzzle game, Boss Monster.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a crafting game, they have a game I think called Unearth, which is kind of cool. This is now more of a role-playing kind of game.
Yes.
I like the fact that they don't just stay in a box. They branch out different things.
Adds a lot of theme. Adds a lot of theme to the game. So I don't know. We didn't do much role playing during it, but
no,
you tell us a story.
I think the ruins are cool. I think it's an interesting choice to, like, instead of dice, you do like ruins.
Right.
The only problem though is that when it comes to ruins, that they're flat.
Okay, I gotta tell you, it's runes, not ruins.
Runes.
Ruins are a building that's fallen down.
Well,
runes are mystical casting
right,
stones.
but they're kind of flat, and it's kind of hard sometimes when you're rolling them.
Mm-hmm.
To
Well,
a die.
yeah, but so long as you made like a rule that, because we had somebody go like just slam them down. Well, that's not going to do much. So you have to make the rule that the person has to.
You actually have to
lift,
cast them.
Lift them off the table, and they'll bounce around. If you're playing on a felt surface, and I thought maybe you could do a chucker, like a backgammon chucker, and pop it down. I don't know. We'll see. But
I think it's definitely has a learning curve.
oh my gosh, does it have a learning curve? This is the second time we attempted to do a video for this, and the first time we messed up the rules horribly, and it took us 3 hours. And yeah, so there is definitely a learning curve. Hopefully, we have helped you get it together, and when you play the game, you'll be okay with it. What did you think about production? You mentioned the runes, but I really like the quality of them.
I think the quality is great. I think the quality of the cards, the art is great.
We should also mention that the runes are shaped differently. The regular ones are rectangles, and then the dark runes are and the core runes are a rhombus, and then another rhombus for the special charisma, whatever attribute, the third attribute. But this is confusing. When we first played, it had 3 dots on it. So how many points do you get? 2. Maybe they could have put a 1 dot on these, 0 dots, or 2 dots here, a 0 dot on this one, to give you kind of a hint of, and you wouldn't have to constantly look at your thing, because that also that idea of, what am I going to roll? What are my chances to roll a 6? Well, if you don't have somebody who knows probability, then it's going to be difficult to calculate. But production quality wise, I like those. What do you think of these, the little diamonds?
They're pretty. They're nice.
Well,
I think
did you notice that they stack?
They do. I did notice that they did stack.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that so much, the stacking part, but because I think I would like it more if they were just flat. Then the card quality is good. There's a lot of information and artwork on these tarot size cards. So if you're going to sleeve, I had sleeves for my hero and my anti-hero cards. Those just take standard American playing card style sleeves, 63.5 by 88 millimeters. And these are tarot sized, which I'm going to have to buy. There's like 120 of these, so I'm going to have to buy 3. There were 100, I think, of those. So, so if you have 2 sets, I always use the thicker cards sleeves. So if you have two sets, that'll cover you there. You're going to need 3 sets of tarot cards for that. And then the artwork is nice, so you want to keep them nice. So I recommend.
General,
saving
on
it.
a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, how would you rate this game?
Well, first of all, I want to say that the rules, it reads like a simple game, but there are so many ins and outs and complications that you're going to need about 3 games under your belt before you get this game.
True.
Yeah, the learning curve is huge. The rules don't really help. There's a lot of gaps in the rules. They should have taken the FAQ that they got and put at the end. They should have just rewritten the rules and said, a lot of people mistake this. Remember this. Just a little box that said remember or clarification, because there's still a lot of clarifications that need to be done. Almost like that game Boss Monster. So I'm gonna have to ding them for that. But if you go to Board Game Geek, you can get the rules. It's just that it's kind of a downer that like, oh, can I play this card now? I don't know. Let me check the rules. Oh, can I do this? Let me check the rules. Oh, it doesn't say. So you're going to have to do some house ruling. And so long as you're consistent, that should be fine. Also, I did like how it upped the ante every act. So that the like, for instance, you can do Act 1s easily. Act 2s, if you buy some dark runes, you'll probably be okay. Act 3s, wow, they are difficult. So, yeah, I do like that it ramps up. And as you can see, I was using my get rid of cards thing more frequently because I get a free one on that.
So your
And
score?
Well, it sticks around a little too long for what it is. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 7, though. It's pretty good. It's okay. I don't know if it's $33 good, but they put a lot. Like, every dollar you spend is in the box. They put all their money into making this a nice-looking game with really quality cardboard, and everything is high quality. So you're getting your money's worth, but gameplay, I'm casting runes again. And it says 30 minutes to 60 minutes, and I think that it's at least an hour game. And I don't know if I would break it out for new players either, but I have. I've played it with a few of my groups, and they all seem to indicate about a 7. What about yourself? You're the man on this game.
Well, I was a big fan of their original game, Boss Monster, and I liked Boss Monster 2. On Earth, I still thought it was good. This is definitely, it could definitely use a little bit of work with the rules. I would agree with you on that. It definitely has that steep learning curve. You definitely do get your money's worth with everything in the box.
And also, if you don't play it for a while, I think you're going to forget some of the rules.
Yes, you are definitely going to forget.
So,
but I would definitely, I'd match your score. I'd give it a 7.
yeah.
7 out of 10.
About a 7. I think that's solid. So, solid game. If you liked what you saw here, if you like telling a story, or if you like a game that tells a story, I think I can recommend it. Also, if you like high-quality production, I can recommend it. If you like a deep game that's going to present different things to you every time, that's not this. This is really story. All right?
All right. Well, it sounds like this adventure is wrapping up for this episode, but
we gotta wander on out of here
we
to
do.
get some adventure.
Or could go on another adventure.
Yes.
As the story goes.
Adventuring to maybe McDonald's and getting a fish sandwich.
But
That's what I'm looking at.
from all of us at Dice Squad, this is Marshall Dice, also known as Adam Campbell,
General Dice Todd Evangelista.
saying the adventure's out there, folks. Go seek it. Diddly diddly dee, diddly 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 dee.